shoe on head has opened a whole Pandora box, and people all over the internet are starting to question things. However, there's one thing that's more and more clear the more people keep asking these questions, and that's the fact that it's really difficult to understand other genders. It's hard to understand even our own gender. Speaking specifically about guys, we really don't have much understanding of women. A mixture of culture and failed education system and a lack of communication has made it very hard to understand how women work. But well, here is me, trying to do that work for you and hopefully coming up with some answers. Now, believe it or not, this is a subject I've been researching for years. Many years ago, I had a girlfriend. Shocking, I know. I used to be the kind of man that would generally think girls were just being dramatic when they talked about their period cramps and how all their emotions would get messed up during that time period. So when my now ex-girlfriend told me about her period, I did what any normal, stupid, illiterate guy would say and just told her she was being a drama queen. Long story short, she made me research on the subject, and upon reading about all of the awful things period can cause on a woman, I felt like the stupidest asshole on the planet and immediately went to apologize to her like a maniac. It is then that I realized how little I actually knew about women, and thus I started researching. I read many books, articles, podcasts. I've seen commentary from random girls about how they act, the things they go through. I read about the psychology of their minds, etc. And in doing so, I also learned a lot of things about men and why we do the things we do. So, got to this day, I felt like it would be appropriate to talk about my discoveries, starting with this question that has haunted so many men throughout generations, especially those that are bad at getting a girlfriend. Why do women seem to like bad guys more than good guys? Why do assholes seem to be getting more bitches than good guys? In order to answer this question, we actually need to talk about men more than women. Oh, actually, before that, just so we're clear, I'm not gonna claim to have the ultimate answer for this question because I don't think that even exists. After all, we're all different and exceptions will always exist. But I think I'm at least pretty close to the truth. Let's start by saying this. Nobody has had a perfect life. Everyone has lived through hardships. No one has had perfect parents or friends growing up, definitely not men. Men's response to those traumas is quite interesting. And throughout my research, I've identified 5 different responses, which results in 5 different types of men. And I am about to explain those types to you and how attractive each of those types are normally to women. Firstly, let's talk about the absolute perfect man. Let's call this man the ideal man. This is the first and by far the most rare type of man there is. This kind of guy has fought through his hardships and traumas, finally achieving a complete freedom of them. This is the kind of guy that's confident, knows his own value, doesn't think of himself any lower or higher than what he is, feels overall accomplished, and just radiates this success energy everywhere he goes. This is 100% the most attractive type of men for women, because they're generally good guys and they also have their life together and they have a lot of confidence. The thing is, the amount of men that are like this is kind of pathetic. According to Eleanor Hall and Jan Hansen, in 1962, Maslow found around 17% of men being self-actualized. This, according to Maslow, means that most of their needs are covered and they feel accomplished. Then, in 1972, John Gowan made a new research and determined that only 4% of men reach that level, which is really low. I sadly couldn't find any more modern statistics than that, but okay. Let's say it's somewhere in the middle. Let's say it's 10% of men that feel this way. That's still not really a lot. Most women in their life are not going to find a man like this ever. And even if they do, they would probably have a lot of competition to get that man. In fact, I feel like a lot of these guys are probably already married, because to get to this point, you need to be quite far in life. Feeling accomplished and self-actualized is not something easy to do. You have to work really hard to get yourself in a comfortable position in life, to have a good financial stability, and also have beaten all of your traumas. Sometimes all of this can take years, if not decades, to accomplish. And listen, everyone is having a hard time with the economy right now. So, this is the most attractive type of men for women. But I haven't mentioned anything about bad guys. So why do girls go for the bad guys? Well, let me explain to you this next type of guy, which I'm just going to call the asshole man. I am describing it as an asshole because I'm not really just including violent men. Some men are not necessarily violent or aggressive, they're more just, well, assholes. This usually comes as a response to trauma, overcompensating for what they feel like they're lacking. I have read about many men saying they treat other people poorly because they want to prove that they're better than those other people. But deep down, they feel like they're worth less than those other people. There's also many other reasons why a man could adopt this behavior, like experiencing violence as a kid, or being pressured into acting this way as a form of self-defense, or even society telling them that they need to be this way if they want to be valuable. I have heard this quote-unquote dating advice too many times. If you want to have a girl, you have to treat them bad. So yeah, some guys just adopt that type of lifestyle. Whatever it is, there is one trait every single guy of this type has. They are very confident. I honestly don't know if it's even possible to be an asshole without being confident. I feel like you need to feel above others in order to be that kind of asshole. Imagine someone being like, I'm very sorry, but I think I'm gonna punch you and abuse you. Yeah, here I go. Any second now. Yeah, I just don't see it. Assholes are attractive because they're very confident. Confidence is hot for women. Culturally and historically, confidence tells a woman that a man will take care of you and protect you. You can rely on someone like that. Even though in this particular case, it's probably gonna do the exact opposite, but you know. And if you haven't noticed, this already answers half of the question. Women want confidence, and they would want the ideal man, but that type of man is so rare, the next best thing is the asshole man. Because at least they get something out of it. They get a fun, confident man that might protect them. And these assholes are not afraid of approaching women, because in their mind, they're better than most other people. Yeah, some of them are creeps, and they still face rejection, but why would they care? Some of them will forcefully try to take what they think it's theirs. Some of them don't need that. Some of them will just approach more girls and will probably get something soon. They are that confident. And it's not like girls really have that many other options, because the other types of men are potentially worse. And with that, let's talk about the third type now. This is something that falls right in the middle, and I'm going to call it the incel. Obviously, I'm not just talking about guys that can't get a girl for any reason. I am specifically talking about the type of man that has zero confidence in themselves, but will still act like absolute pricks when they don't get what they want. A little before, I did say that I didn't know how an asshole could exist without confidence, but I guess this is kind of it. Incels are not assholes the same way, though. The asshole type will make fun of others, punch whoever is inferior to them, take whatever they feel like they cannot get in their first try, by force, and will honestly happily cheat on their girl just because they can. The incel, however, can't do any of that. The incel will attempt, fail, and then take vengeance in any way they can. Which usually means just bitching about it on social media, but also they could tell it right in your face how much you suck, sometimes even do some horrible stuff. Like, this is the kind of man that can take your life. Well, the asshole also can, but these ones, they're just dangerous, okay? And they won't do all of this stuff because they think you're inferior to them. They will do all of this simply as a form of tantrum that they have. They're really just big babies with a lot of power, you know, as a regular adult. And I think this is by far the least attractive type of men for women. It's not hard to see why. The real danger of these guys also is that they often disguise themselves to appear like good guys. So there's another reason why women often don't feel attracted to good guys, because for all they know, they could be not good guys. And heck, if you don't get the good guy side and you also don't get confidence, heck, you are getting nothing out of this type of man. Finally, we come to the last type of man, and probably the majority watching this video right now. I have called this type of man the invisible man. This is the type I am most familiar with because, well, I am part of it. Invisible men are basically the type of men that have pretty much given up before even trying. We have no confidence. Usually we have trouble socializing, and not many other people know about our existence. The internet is our main source of social interactions. The funny thing is, most of us invisible men are genuinely good, because it's not like we don't want social interactions or stuff like love or a girlfriend. It's just not easy. So when we do get that friendship or relationship, we cherish it. We try our best to be the best man we can be for that person. Or everyone, really. Well, everyone that reserves it. It doesn't mean... Actually, a lot of us are people pleasers, but it's not like we cannot hate someone. You know what I mean. We try to be good. Now, I'm not gonna say it's absolutely impossible for an invisible man to become an incel or even an asshole type, but because we're so far onto the opposite side, it's often not easy to do that. Now, the original question comes up again. If we are truly, genuinely good guys, why do girls still prefer asshole over us? Well, the answer is in the name of the type itself. Invisible. We lack the confidence necessary to be attractive to women. Even those that have good bodies maybe have a bigger chance, but they often still have troubles finding a girlfriend. Let's say some girls are willing to give us a chance even if we're not confident. That's a great wholesome thought, but how are they supposed to know we even exist in the first place? The lack of confidence immediately means you're not even gonna try to put yourself out there. So women are not choosing us because we're not even an option. They simply don't know we exist. For them, it's either choosing a man they might never meet in their life, confident asshole, or a horrible man trying to look like a good guy. We are completely out of the equation. If for some reason there's any girl watching this video, because statistically there's no women here, I already know what you're gonna say. Just be more confident. Just talk to more women. Well, that is a great thought again, but the thing is, confidence is not something I can just go buy at Walmart. It is something that is built up after years and years of practice, training, and even therapy. I know I have been to therapy for longer than 10 years, and even though I have gotten a lot better, I am nowhere close to have that confidence to actually get a woman. Honestly, I can't really blame anyone other than myself and my own traumas and my own stuff. I know my lack of confidence is the thing that holds me back from being attractive to a girl, but honestly, most I can do is try my best, fighting those traumas and my own brain, and many more men are in this exact situation. Some of them not even knowing there's ways to fight or to change. And also no, confidence cannot be faked. Trust me, I have tried and it hasn't worked a single damn time. If anything, it has put me in even worse situations. Like that one time when I tried flirting back at a girl and she ended up calling me a creep. I already told that story in another video. She implied that she was home alone and wanted a man to be with her, you know, that kind of stuff. We were in a party. I implied that I could be that man, you know, trying to act all confident and shit, and then I got slapped by her words. At least it was just with her words. The worst thing about confidence is that it's way easier to lose it than to gain it. You can work a whole year of therapy to get that confidence, and it only takes one girl telling you ew to completely reset that confidence back to zero. And the ew is one of the nicest things a girl can say. I've been told to K myself before. So the question, why are girls more attracted to bad guys? Well, it's a sign they could be a protective figure and that they have confidence. And good guys are good options, but most of us are completely unknown to these women. Finally, if you've been counting, you have already noticed that I left the fifth type out. That last one is not really a type, but rather a consequence of what happens if you let yourself be beaten by your own traumas instead of finding ways to cope with it. And that is depression. I wanted to include it as some kind of type because it's pretty much the exact opposite side of this ideal man. And the saddest thing is, it's way easier to fall into this category than growing into the opposite. Any bad step you take and you're gonna end up depressed. As a survivor of depression, it is really scary. But it's not impossible. I did beat it. And so can you if you're going through that situation. I'm going to end this video by saying that if you're an invisible man or you're straight up depressed, there's still ways to fight. There are reasons to fight. I cannot tell you the exact way to fight this because I'm still trying to discover it myself. But at least I can tell you that there's people that care. I care. If you have trouble finding a girlfriend for being invisible or you're lacking confidence, maybe let me know in the comments. And if you want to join a great community where we can support each other, listen to each other, and just care for each other, definitely join our Discord server. We won't be able to help much if you do happen to be depressed, and we will probably advise you to seek a professional. But if all you need is an ear to listen, or in this case, an eye to read your message, then we got you. Other than that, I hope you found this video at least somewhat informative. Maybe you learned a thing or two. If you have more theories on why women seem to prefer bad guys, do let me know. And do consider giving me a like and subscribing. I also play games on Twitch if you're interested. Hey, I want to be your friend. A friend that listens to you and maybe invites you to play some games to distract your mind from all of those hardships. Anyway, thank you for watching. You got this, King. We all got this. We're all gonna make it. I believe in us. And I also believe in us. See you in the next video. Bye-bye. And don't forget, you are loved. At least by me.